How many people are there right now that are your age and from your country that are making over 10k per month? If the answer is not zero, and you're not one of those people making over 10k per month, there's an issue, okay? I remember back in early 2022, I was a massive video gamer, right? I was playing like Rocket League, like Valorant, all those games. It was bad, right? I was like immortal on Valorant, I was Grand Champion Rocket League, and it was like, it got to a point where it was detrimental. Like, I remember waking up, just walking straight to my PC with my two monitors, like a zombie, just logging on, having YouTube here on the second monitor, playing some high dopamine video, and then on here, loading up ranked in Valorant, trying to hit Immortal 2 or whatever it was. And before my YouTube video, on my second monitor, there was an ad. And that ad was an Imangaji ad. And immediately, I watched it. It was for one of his like program thingers. Immediately, I watched it, and within a second, I wrote it off as a scammer, and he's lying, and it's fake, and there's no way that you can make that much money. It's all fake. You need to understand that's how most people think, right? There's us, we are kind of like working based or whatever. Like we kind of understand it's even possible to make 10k per month online. The majority of those other people have literally no idea, and if you were to expose them to it, they would just believe it's a scam. So now you're already in that small minority of people that actually realize it's possible. So now you're technically in the 1%, but there's a 1% of that 1%, right? So 99% of people just don't believe in it. 1% of people kind of realize, okay, I can make money online, and the 1% of that 1% are actually doing it and actually making money online. Okay? And there are 3 skills that you need to master if you want to be in that 1% of 1%. And you actually want to be one of those people who make money online and look super cool. They go to Dubai, they go to Thailand, they go to Bali, and drive around the cool cars. If you actually want to be one of those people, there are 3 things that you need to do. The first thing is mindfulness. So first of all, I'm going to tell you why, and then I'm going to tell you like literally autistic detail how to be mindful. Okay? So you might do this. I remember that I did this. Like I remember back at the start of 2023, I would sit down on my desk, get ready to do some work, and I'll get the doc open if I'm writing something. I'll get like the cold call thing open if I'm about to cold call, and I would get everything set up. I would start, and then within 30 seconds, I would get up, and I would literally just walk out of my room, and I'd go play with my dog and just maybe go scroll on my phone. I would literally start, get ready to do the work, and then just stop. And the reason for that was because of a lack of mindfulness. If you want to work long hours, which by the way is what point 2 is going to be about, you need to be mindful, because you're going to sit down, get ready to work, and you're going to get a thought which is resistant telling you, oh, you should go walk outside. You need to be mindful enough to kind of be aware of your thoughts and have like this meta awareness and be like, okay, I was about to go get up, but no, I'm going to stay back because I know that was just resistance telling me to leave. I need to go do this needle moving work in front of me. The thing is, you're actually already ahead. You actually have some level of mindfulness, okay? You're like, 2 minutes, 3 minutes into this YouTube video, and you've sat here and you've listened to me speak, right? The majority of people are just completely brainless scrollers. Like the type of people who maybe you might know some of them in your friend group. They have 8-10 hours per day of screen time on TikTok. They're just doom scrolling. They would literally click off this video within 3 seconds, and then they'll go back to YouTube Shorts or TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever it is and just doom scroll, because that's the most that attention span can handle. You also desperately need mindfulness when making decisions, okay? Because when you're making a decision, you have to be completely logical and rational, right? You have to get rid of all the emotions, and you need to have the humility and, more importantly, the mindfulness to realize, oh, okay, I'm being emotional, right? Because most people, they just get kind of filled up by the anger or the sadness or the happiness, whatever emotion they're feeling, and they use that to make their decisions. If you're mindful and you're present, you can realize, okay, maybe right now I'm too happy, I'm too sad, I'm too angry, I'm too emotional right now to make this really important decision. So what am I going to do? Okay, I'm just going to turn off my brain and just focus on this SOP for being rational. Get a night's sleep, and then ask your friends. So get a good night's sleep, because you want to just wait for time to elapse, because over time the emotions will go away, and then get your friends. So you want to kind of ask yourself, if I was a consultant getting paid to consult me and I was getting paid 10k per month, what would I tell me to do? Because you want to have that third person perspective, like that outsider's point of view. Like if you're giving advice to yourself, what advice would he give you? And that's probably the thing you should do. You don't do your own advice because you're irrational. So how do you actually be mindful? There's one thing that you can do that's going to help you the most, and that's meditation. So I'm not just going to say, oh, just go meditate, bro. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. For 8 weeks, meditate for 30 minutes per day. Okay, I have no idea why that's good or why that's bad. That's just what Dr. Andrew Huberman recommends. Do it for 8 weeks. Try it just for 8 weeks, 30 minutes per day. And after those 8 weeks, you're going to see a drastic increase in your mindfulness skills. Okay? So all you have to do is refocus meditation. So you sit down somewhere comfortable, right? And you close your eyes and you just focus on your breath. What I like to do is focus on literally the air going in and leaving my nostrils. So close your eyes, do this with me. So breathe in. and out. And when you're doing it, breathe in and out through your nose, and actually focus like on your nostrils, like the air coming in and out of your nostrils. And so when you're doing this, you're focused on your breath, and then maybe in a few seconds, in a few milliseconds, you're going to lose focus on your breath, and you're going to get distracted, you're going to mind wander. All mindfulness is the skill of realizing you're mind wandering, and then coming back to the breath, and just repeating that. And when you mind wander, you shouldn't be angry at yourself, you shouldn't be anything like that. You just mind wander, become aware that you mind wandered, and then come back to the breath. Just do that, eyes closed, 30 minutes every single day for 8 weeks, and you're going to get a drastic increase in your mindfulness skills. The second skill which you need to have, which is pretty similar to the mindfulness skill, is just the skill of sitting down and working. And so obviously, as we just talked about, the number one thing that you can probably do for that is just be mindful, right? If you can meditate do the 8-week program of 30 minutes per day, that's going to help you so much, because you're going to get up to leave, and then you'll be like, wait, why am I leaving? This is stupid. I'm present now. I'm back to being present. It's like you're training with meditation to kind of have like this back to the breath moment where you're going back to the work. Yeah? So that's obviously the first thing that you can do with sitting down and working, but there's something else you can do. This is going to sound so obvious, but it's what you need to hear. You need to get into that habit and make it normal for you to sit down and work. So your brain and your body can kind of get used to it. Like, okay, when I sit down at this setup, I'm not gonna go walk away. I'm gonna work here and sit here and do all my work until it's like fully completed. Yeah, that's the first thing. And then you need to do that with progressive overload. So maybe you start with, if you suck and you've been scrolling on TikTok for 10 hours a day, maybe you start with 20 minutes of work, and 30, and then an hour, then an hour and a half. And so most of you would be, I assume, at least like somewhat good. Like you've been watching this video, you haven't clicked away, you have some level of like mindfulness already. Maybe you can work already for 90 minutes. So maybe try 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours. If you can have like an amazing 4-hour deep work block where you don't lose focus, or well, you do, but every time you do, you like, it's the same thing as coming back to the breath. You realize it, and then you come back to the work. If you can do that for 4 hours, and you can get a lot of work done, that's perfect, okay? The main thing you need here is humility. Don't let your ego tell you, oh no, maths, I'm not like this type of person, maths wrong. I can go do 6 hours of deep work right now. I'm telling you, you probably can't. I can't, right? And you need to have the humility to just own up and admit to it, because without first like actually admitting that I'm not really that good at mindfulness, you can't improve it. You need to have the humility to admit it first. So just say it right now. Just like, be completely honest with yourself. Maybe you want to say like, I'm not really that mindful. My mindfulness skill could be so much better. Yeah, just removing your ego from the decision making and just saying that is going to help you so much. Yeah, so just go get on the meditation practice for 8 weeks, every single day, 30 minutes, and just try to progressively overload the amount of time you work for each day. The third and final skill you need to have might sound counterintuitive, but it's being out of touch. Okay, and this might sound a bit weird, but it's actually vital to be out of touch with like the real world drama that's in the news. For your agency, you have a niche, or at least I hope you do. What you want to do is be hyper out of touch with real world drama and hyper in touch with niche related issues. So you want to have an amazing understanding of something called latent conditions. So latent conditions are the underlying psychological tendencies people in your niche have, right? So for example, people in accounting are very analytical. So a latent condition of people who work in accounting is analytical. Okay? For example, someone who works in art, they're going to be a very creative person, right? That's a latent condition of the niche. When you have an amazing understanding of the latent conditions of your niche, what you can do is you can create stimuli, you can create copy, and you can create scripts that really resonate with people in your niche. So that when you say them, or when you type them, the people in your niche actually like resonate with them, and they want to book a call with you, right? An understanding of latent conditions is the most important thing you need to have for your niche. And so obviously it's going to be different for everyone. So the gym niche has different latent conditions than the agency in the niche, which is different latent conditions to the roofing niche, and the solar niche, and the chiro niche, right? All the niches have different latent conditions. So it's up to you to be hyper in touch with your niche. Like if your niche is chiros, go to a chiropractor. If your niche is the gym, sign up to a gym. If your niche is martial arts, start doing jiu-jitsu. You need to be actually in touch and understanding. So the best thing that you can do right now is, number one, go to your niche. So if you work with med spas, go to a med spa. If you work with the gym, go to gyms. And number two is just do 30 calls. Call 30 people, like it's like a cold call, but you're not trying to pitch them anything. Act as if you're a uni student and just come up with some questions to ask them. So for example, like, what is the average gym owner, if you're using gym for example, what does the average gym owner look like? What's the average day of a gym owner? How much does the average gym owner make? Like, actually understanding your niche is going to be so important, okay? And to do that, first of all, you have to get rid of like your care and your understanding of like real world drama. So I don't know how long this video is going to turn out to be, maybe like 7 to 10 minutes. You already have a good level of mindfulness if you stuck around to the end of this video, then you have my respect. You've watched a video that's like not too hyper stimulating for like 10 minutes or however long it is. So like good, that's amazing, good job. Make sure you do that for 8 weeks, 30 minutes per day of meditation. That's like the number one thing you starting literally today to drastically increase your mindfulness skill. Okay? So obviously, please do all these yourself, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, bye bye.